What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader, and it's that time again. It's Friday, and I think this is episode number 70 of what to buy on eBay. I've got vintage collection, comic books, as well as vintage Kenner items, both graded and ungraded. And the inventory on eBay right now is a little slim, okay? So the pickings are slim for this video, but I tried to ID some items that I thought that you guys might like. Before I dig in any further, I need to say thank you to my latest Patreon supporter, Nicey. Nicey just became a Patreon supporter, and they get my videos 24 hours early access, as well as buy it now alerts for new items that pop up on eBay. I just sold an item to a good buddy of mine, a Tri-Logo ATST driver that was super mint, really great price, and he bought it immediately, so I'm really happy for him. So keep an eye out on my Patreon page for those buy it now alerts. I just send them out as I see them, and that I think they're good deals. I was going to include it in this video, but it sold in 5 seconds. So unfortunately, I had to take that one off, but I got some other good items, so let's take a look. All right, so we're going to start off with the vintage collection, and I know there are people out there that like to hoard, okay? And if you're a hoarder for the vintage collection, this is a good auction for you. Lots of duplicates and multiples for the vintage collection, and this is that auction. It ends Saturday evening at 11:47 p.m. Eastern time. So you got a lot of different multi-packs here. You got the special action figure Cave of Evil, and then some clones. You got Grogu, a bunch of carbonized TVC. So if you're into this kind of multiples and just hoarding TVC to hoard them, we all do it. We all hoard in some way. This is a good auction for you. So that one, right now it's at $117.50. I have no idea what it's going to end up at, but I'm sure I'll cover it in a TVC market update. Here's another kind of multiples lot of special action figure sets, and they're all different, so I thought this was worth showing you guys. This one ends Sunday at 8:55 Eastern time, and this includes the Hero set, the Imperial set, the Jedi Destiny set, and the Cave of Evil. And so, as always, make sure you vet the sellers, and in the video description, I will include eBay affiliate links. If you use those links to bid or to buy it now, it does help out the channel, so I appreciate those of you that very religiously use those eBay affiliate program links, but they're all in the video description. Anyway, I thought this was worth sending. All the multi-packs look like they're in pretty good shape right now. It's at $66, ends Sunday evening. Again, for you hoarders out there, or for those of you that like to send in sealed Hasbro cases to AFA or to Collector Archive Services for uncirculated grading, we've got 4 sealed Hasbro TVC cases. Right now it's at $102, and apparently it includes some Clone Troopers, Ahsoka, probably the Ahsoka Clone Wars Mandalore version, as well as the Darth Maul Mandalore. Anyway, 32 figures, 4 cases. You probably need to look up which specific figures are in there, but they look like they came from Entertainment Earth, so you know they're going to be nice and minty, and they are all sealed. So that one ends Sunday at 8:01 Eastern time, and right now the bid's at $102. Here's a sealed original issue TVC Millennium Falcon. This one is being sold by Brian's Toys. It's at auction. It's already at $345. These seem to go for a lot of money. This, again, is the Toys R Us exclusive first issue Millennium Falcon, and the packaging looks to be in pretty mint condition here. One little issue down there in the lower right-hand corner, but otherwise a very clean box. Here's the back of it, just some light scuffing to it, but I expect that one to go for big money, as these usually do. And again, that one's at $345. Brian's Toys, very trusted seller. Saturday, 1:44 Central Time, 2:44 Eastern Time is when that one ends. So if you're into those items, there you go. Let's dig into some comics before we talk about the vintage Kenner items. This is a trusted seller on eBay that I bought from in the past, Krusty Krab Comic Shop. That's what she said. Star Wars issue 42, the direct edition. This is the first appearance of Boba Fett, as well as Yoda in comics. This is a pretty iconic cover, freshly graded. It looks super clean. I've already kind of zoomed in on the photos on the CGC website. Very, very clean copy. And again, freshly graded, nicely centered, perfect colors. And that one's at $368. And if you're into these kind of big grail books from the original Marvel run, this is the time to buy it because prices are well down. There's one that just sold at Heritage for about $1,100 after taxes and the buyer's premium. So that's about what I would aim for on this book. They consistently sell for about $1,100 or so. So that is the right number, I think, for the direct edition. The newsstand edition usually goes for kind of $1,500-ish or a little bit less. But that's kind of the price target I would aim for. That one ends Sunday evening at 10:06 Eastern Time. And again, I've dealt with that seller before. Always packs very well. Here is one that still has not kind of hit the market yet. And I keep waiting and waiting for it, but there hasn't been many of them yet. But this is Star Wars Hyperspace Stories Issue 10. And you're like, what's the big deal about this? This is the first comic book appearance of the Bad Batch team. And, this is the cover B, which I don't like as much as the cover A. Every time I send out the cover A to my Patreon supporters, it sells immediately. So I don't have any cover A's for you, but if you're okay with the cover B, I don't like this cover quite as much as the standard cover A, but this one's at auction. I expect it to go for cheap, and it'll probably sell for about $60 or less. But again, if you're into the Bad Batch like I am, I love the Bad Batch team. I love the animated series on Disney Plus. This is going to go down as their first comic book appearance. So right now the bid is at $21.50. It ends Saturday at 8:51 Eastern Time. But as soon as I see a good cover A go up at auction, I'll include it in another What to Buy video, but there just hasn't been any. They're all pre-sales right now, and the buy it nows get snapped up by my Patreon supporters. So there you go if you're into the Bad Batch. Here is another one that I had to show you because it's at auction, and this is Heir to the Empire #1 in the direct edition. This is the first appearance of Grand Admiral Thrawn, and I don't know why, but this is before CGC started labeling it as the first appearance of Jorah Seaboth, Mara Jade, as well as Grand Admiral Thrawn. So it's a little bit older grading case, but it looks super mint and very nicely centered, beautiful colors. I got this one in my collection, and this one seems to be going for about $650 to $700 right now. So that's a price target to aim for. Again, it's at auction. It ends 9:24 Central Time, and right now this one just got listed today. It's only at $26 right now. Here's another one for those of you in the UK. I would not recommend picking this one up if you're in the US just because of the global shipping program costs. But if you're in the UK, I would definitely jump on this one. This is Hyperspace Stories, the Jackson Annual. And I don't know if this is not like any big first appearance or anything, but it's the first time that they've had a Jackson Rabbit story in a very long time, if not from the original Marvel run. And it's an amazing cover. I love this cover art. It's kind of a weird hybrid of a realistic art style for a rabbit and Jackson's style that we remember from the original Marvel run. And it's an annual, it's lower print run, it's a Dark Horse Comics. Dark Horse just started reprinting or just started, redoing, Star Wars comics after a delay there where they were not doing any Star Wars comics. So it's a Cavan Scott story. When the Galaxy Needs a Hero. I don't know. There's something about this cover that really is striking about it. And it's only 55 pounds for those of you in the UK, $70 US. For those of us in the US, unfortunately, it's another $33 shipping. But I think for those of you in the US, you can probably pick this up for cheap. And I know it's a good value because there's 12 watchers on it right now. So, and you can also make an offer. There's a make an offer function. So it's a CGC 9.8 Hyperspace Stories Jackson Annual. I keep meaning to pick one of these up, but I just have kind of let it fall by the wayside. So anyway, there you go. It's kind of like the reintroduction of Jackson Rabbit into Star Wars kind of canon. So very cool book. Now let's dig into the vintage Kenner items. We've got a UKG 85% small head Han Solo. This is from Cashel Retro Trader, a buyer I've bought from and like a lot. This is listed for 165 pounds, which is $210 US. There are 15 people watching it, so I think it's pretty close to market value on that one. This is the Small Head Han Hong Kong COO. Here are a couple of items that AL Vintage Toys has at auction. This is the harder to find no COO TIE Fighter pilot, graded UKG 85%. These all his items end Saturday at 2:32 Eastern Time. So, the no COO TIE Pilot, they only appeared on Tri-Logos as well as on Palatoys, and It's just one of those sneaky variants that's tough to track down, and they don't go for that much money. I mean, you could probably pick this one up for less than 100 pounds, maybe slightly over that. Brand new K-style, UKG 85%, and then the same seller also has a UKG 80% Wampa loose graded. That one is at 66 pounds and also ends Saturday afternoon. Next up, this is over in Japan, so bid accordingly. But this seller does have 100% positive feedback, and he's got the harder to find ESB-A baggie that's fully heat sealed for Boba Fett. Now, as you can tell, it's got some degradation going for the figure, so this is probably at best a 75 grade. But the baggie itself is in great shape, fully sealed, and the lettering is pretty good shape as well. So this is a tougher to find baggie variation, though, for Boba Fett. The SWD baggie is the mail-away version, the early mail-away version, but this is an Empire Strikes Back mailer or baggie, and very, very tough to find. So it's at auction. It's only at $11.50. It's another $30 shipping from Japan. And again, that seller, I did kind of check out the seller to make sure it was a true, legitimate seller, and it does have 100% positive feedback. So there you go if you're into different baggie variations for Boba Fett. One other baggie here is an ESB-D baggie for 4-LOM. It looks nice and perfectly sealed, heat-sealed baggie for 4-LOM. This is the mail-away that was advertised on the 47 backs for the Empire Strikes Back line of figures. And it's only $100. I think that's a pretty fair price. There's 15 watchers on it, so I know it's pretty close to fair market value on that one. All right, I've got some loose figures that are not graded, and the first is a Last 17 Luke Skywalker in his Stormtrooper disguise. By no means a perfect figure. Okay, let's get that out of the way. You can see the obvious discoloration on the legs and arms versus the torso. So this is probably a 75 at best, but it looks complete with the correct black blaster, and right now this one's at $192.50. It ends in 3 days. Saturday evening at 9:24 Central Time, and this seller has sold over 1,100 items, 100% positive feedback. So looks very nice, Black Blaster version of the Luke Stormtrooper Last 17. Here's a sneaky one. Here's a sneaky one that I think the cat is out of the bag just based on the price right now, but this is the Hollow Cheeks Tusken Raider, and it was not advertised as such by the seller, but I think bidders very quickly caught on, and it looks to be in super mint condition. So I think this one would grade pretty highly. It's got one little issue on the arm there that might wipe off or clean off with like a Q-tip and just some soap and water. But the cape is in pretty good shape. The paint on the face is in very, very good shape. You can see the silver paint apps on the eyes, the cheeks, as well as the horns is in great shape. So I think this one would grade very, very highly. And again, it's the Hollow Cheeks version. It's at $152.50 right now. That one ends at 6:36 Eastern Time. So there you go, if you're looking for a Hollow Cheeks Tusken Raider. Now let's dig into some mint on cards. We've got an AFA 80 near mint Princess Leia Organa on the 31 back B. It's a clear blister with a Best Products Company price sticker. I remember shopping at Best all the time as a kid. Punched example. It does have, unfortunately, the clear view case up top, archival case though, and it's not. There's no bidding yet, but it ends Monday at 8:21 Central Time, and the starting bid price is $751 US, 1,000 Canadian dollars. So I think this one's going to sell. It's got a lot of watchers on it already, and that's a really good starting price for an AFA 80 clear blister 31 back B Princess Leia. So there you go. It'll probably sell for, I would guess, $850 to $900 minimum. So that starting bid price is certainly below fair market value. Next up, we've got from Brian's Toys again, an AFA 75 77 back A Boba Fett Desert Scene. So there you go. Yellowed blister, unfortunately, but this one is 75, 85, 85. And you can see there it's got the yellowed blister, but otherwise very, very good shape. Right now the bid is at $665. This one ends Sunday at 5:04 Eastern Time. Brian's Toys always brings the heat, and this one is no exception. So 75 grade 77A Desert Scene Boba Fett. That is a beauty. Finally, I'm not saying that this is a fair price, but I at least wanted to show it to you because there are 15 watchers on it. Shout out to Matthew C. for pointing this one out. He's a Patreon supporter and good buddy of mine. This is an R2-D2 pop-up lightsaber, Last 17, unpunched beauty, and it does not have the 1 pounds 59 pence factory sticker on it. So this one presents very, very nicely. All right, now the grades are a CAS 80, 85, 80, 80 are the subscores, and it's listed for $1,900 US. Now on Rogue 5 Toys, Chris W. sold one that was ungraded that was probably going to grade out at about a 75, would be my guess. And that one sold for, I'm going on memory, so don't quote me, but I think it sold for around $1,300 US. So this one's already graded. It's a higher grade example for sure at it's at $1,900. Now I put the fair market value on this one at probably $1,600 to $1,700, unfortunately. So I think it's a little high, but it might be worth watching because, you know, he might switch it to make an offer. He might make you a direct offer. I'm not sure. Again, it's got 15 watchers on it already, but I do think it's priced a little high. But I wanted to point it out because this one does not pop up very often. Pop up. Ha, see what I did there? That was by accident, but it's just so funny. No, I'm not. But anyway, it's a CAS 80. Probably worth watching. Maybe he makes you an offer, or maybe he adds a make an offer option. And, you know, a couple of weeks from now, he might get antsy and take an offer for $1,600 or $1,700. So anyway, I hope you guys found something that might tempt you to spend your post-holiday non-money. My wallet is empty after spending it all on my kids, but hopefully one of you guys can pick up something fun from this list of awesome items that are at eBay. And make sure to please use the eBay affiliate links in the video description, as it does help out the channel. Thanks again, as always, for watching, and I'll be back soon.